Hello, it's Brent Shire with Leverage Lean, and today is Monday, which means it's Macro Monday, and I can't think of a better way to start out your week than being more efficient and effective on your computer. And the best way to do that is install our latest macro. What kind of macro are we posting this morning? Let me show you. All right, here's the macro I'm dropping this morning for macro money. It is an Excel macro, copy cell above or below. Now, I've run into this issue where I export records or I'm downloading records, whatever the case be, and I see all of these blank rows that should be associated with the cell values above or below them. Now, this could be happening because you're pulling out records that have a variety of different items. You have items that just have one value and some items that have multi-lines of values. So it causes an issue once you're trying to really analyze and really research that information. And this macro can quickly help clear out those blank cells and populate them with their appropriate values. And now I've run into this problem. This is the solution I've come up with, but I absolutely want to know if you've come up with a different one, potentially a better one. So as we work our way down, you'll see the See It in Action video here. If you've yet to see this macro in action, this is where you can watch this video here. And as I continue to work my way down this page, there is the code, the best part of this page, the most important part of this video. But before we get into the code, I want to talk about the big 3 steps. Activate the developer tab, update your macro security, and set up references for leverage and lean macros. If you fail to set up these steps in the first time using VBA section, this macro will not work for you. And I want to take a moment here to show you how quickly you can set this up. If I navigate into Excel, the first thing I'm going to do is navigate up here to customize my quick access toolbar, and then I'm going to hit more commands. In more commands, I'm going to hit customize ribbon, and then over in the main tab section, if I scroll down, I'm going to see there's the developer tab and it's uncheck marked. All I have to do is check mark it, and now the developer tab is enabled. With the developer tab enabled, I can navigate over to it and then go over to macro security. Once I dive into macro security, you'll see that it's currently set for disabling all macros without notification. All I want to do is enable all of them, period. Now, it says it's not recommended. It says potentially dangerous code you can run. Now, that'd be if you were blindly throwing VBA code into Visual Basic and running it without really walking through it or having a true understanding of what's happening. In this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step, so there should be no concerns. You see what the code's doing. It looks the same in the video as it does on the website. So all you're going to do is click OK. Now we're going to dive into Visual Basic. Now here's the fun part. What do we have to do? It's the first time getting into Visual Basic. You're going to go over to this black arrow. We're going to create a module, and this is where we're going to be pasting that VBA code in. If I navigate back over to the Leverage and Lean website, here is the code for the copy cell above or below. In between the code lines and the physical code itself, you can double click, and then with Control C or right click copy, we can navigate over into Visual Basic and then just paste it into this module 1. So you can see all of the code listed here. Now what I want to show you is actually walking through this code step by step. And a quick way to do that, I'll just snap my screens over to the sides here, bring over my Excel workbook, and I just have this test sheet, and I'm going to walk you through what happens on this sheet. You can see here in row 3 I have all of these blank cells. Now this is the issue I run into. I've exported, I've downloaded this information, and it either should be the value above it or below it. Now this could have happened for a variety of reasons, but whatever the situation, this is what I'm in and I need to resolve it. So this is why I've created this macro. Just by walking through it, you can see that I'm going to immediately get a input box. Now this is the decision point. Do you want to copy the cell value above these blank cells or below them? For the sake of the video, I'm just going to pick above. It's the same exact thing if you click below, just a different value that you're looking for. Now as you see through the code here, I'm just making sure you made an appropriate selection option. You have to pick one or two. If you don't, the macro is going to end. So I have done that, and now I'm working through what does this sheet look like. I want to see how many rows are in this sheet and how many columns are in this sheet, so I know how many places I need to be looking for blank cells to then replacing their values. Now here we go. I'm into my loop. Now I'm going to loop through this spreadsheet and find all of those blank values and then populate them with the above or below value. So I'm just going to hold F8, and you'll start to see this macro work. It's just working row by row. Now even if the rows have multiple blanks, as you can see 5 and 6, it's taking the cell value above, which means it's easier to replace the next row below. Even if there's 3, it's doing the same thing. It's just taking these and quickly shifting them down. Now I'm just walking through this macro to show you what's happening. So I'll slow it down here. We're now into the column 2 of row 12. So this is where I'm going to see that there is a blank value here. Now what happens? If the cell value in row 12, column 2 is blank, then what? Now I want to see I don't want to take the value above it or below it. I do want to take the value above it, so I'm going to minus the row, which means now I'm looking at row 11. I'm then taking that value, and I'll make this bigger. I'm then taking that value and replacing it with the other one. Again, you'll see that in slower action. Then I just go on to the next column. As easy as could be. Now I want to show you how fast this macro is, because once I finish this, I'm just going to find that last row, and then I'm going to get my nice message box to say it's complete. You can actually remove those things. I'll show you that here in a second, but let me show you how fast this is. So let me maximize this window, go over to my copy cell above sheet. Let me show you how many rows are in here. I have over 29,000 rows in this sheet alone. Now, if I want to run this macro on a routine basis, I always recommend creating a custom button. Let me show you how to do that. We'll go into Customize Quick Access Toolbar, More Commands, and in More Commands, we'll go to Customize Ribbon. Now, here is where you want to find a custom group. What I actually want to do is show you how to create a new tab. So if I create a new tab, I'm going to name this tab in this selection here. I'm just going to name this macros. I use a lot of macros. Might as well make an entire tab dedicated to it. Now here's the group custom. Now here's the customized group. I always clear out the group. You can name this whatever you want. I just like it to be blank. Now with the custom group selected, go ahead and go to your popular commands drop down, click macros. The only macro you should have if it's your first time using Baby 8 is this copy cell above or below. We're going to add this over. Now let's clean it up. I like to make this look better. I like the spaces. I really don't like the default image that comes in. We're just going to pick one. I do like this looping arrows here as it's thinking through and populating values, and click OK. So now you'll see you have a macros tab and also a custom button. Now let's go ahead and run this. So I have 29,000 rows. Again, are we going to copy the cell value above or below? I'll show you below just to make sure you see that working. Now it's all of the values below, and if you saw in row 3, it actually took that value below it and populated it up, and that was pretty quick. It just ran through all of those values, and now I can just click OK. Now navigating back to leverageandlean.com, I have another section down here that I want to show you. It's the customize section. So what am I pointing out here? There is some things you can do. You can just remove that input box altogether, and you can just remove that finished message box if you just want this to run and not notify you that it's been completed. So let me show you where you can do that. I'll maximize Visual Basic. Alright, so let me navigate you up here, and you can see here is where you can do some defaulting. If you want to avoid the input box in general and only want to copy a certain type of value either above or below, here is where you can just make the input box a comment, and then you can also just delete the comment for, say, default above. If you just remove this, going forward you won't get an input box, and it'll just always run the copy above value. You can do that for below as well, just by replacing the comment back and then deleting this comment here. Alright, and the other thing you can customize here is you can also remove this message box that's finishing. You can just put a comment here, and then it'll just finish the macro, and it won't tell you that it's been completed. Totally optional, up to you. Alright, well that's all I have for this macro here for Macro Monday. I absolutely want to know what you think of this copy cell above or below. Do you have a better solution than what I've come up with? I absolutely want to know. Leave some comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Stay awesome. Thank you so much for taking time to view this video. I really do appreciate it. If you want to start using this macro, you've seen the video today, just visit leverageandlean.com. If you could do me another big favor, please subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay updated on any new videos that I'm posting. Like us, follow us on all of our social media channels, and as always, stay awesome.